Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum and welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you are new, my name is Arina, and if you are coming back, I hope you all are doing well. So today's video, as from the title, I'm gonna talk about all the highlighters that are available in the drugstore that are medium skin friendly. So if you want to know what they are, keep on watching. So first of all, I'm gonna start with the liquid highlighters because I only have a couple of them, and then I'm gonna move on to powder highlighters. I categorize them based on their intensity. First, I'll talk about the ones that are more wearable, are more subtle, and then we'll move on to the more blinding highlighters. For your reference, I am in the shade NC30 in matte foundation, and also I wore the shade 220 in Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation. Okay, let's start off with the liquid highlighters. This is Catrice the Dewy Drops highlighter. It is in the shade bronze. Even though this shade looks dark in the packaging, but this surprisingly on the skin, it looks very natural and healthy looking. This one will dry down to matte. It doesn't have any chunky glitters. It gives you a nice glisten on the skin, and it doesn't emphasize any texture. Because it will dry down to matte, it will mesh well with the foundation. And you can also use this to mix with your foundation to give your foundation a little bit of oomph or luminosity. The texture feels very thin and easy to blend and spread onto the high points of your cheeks. It's a sheer formula, so once you blend it, you just get that nice soft glossy finish on the skin. I love to wear this one with a matte foundation because sometimes I don't set my matte foundation, so if I wear this, then I don't have to layer it with other highlighters or powder. The next one is cream highlight. This is Master Strobing Stick from Maybelline, and I have mine in the shade nude. This is a solid product and it feels thick when you rub it onto your skin, but once you blend it out, the formula is sheer, just like the Catrice Dewy Drops, but this one is definitely sheer and it reflects back like just a little. This one has a stiffer formula, but it is non-sticky and it is definitely an everyday highlight. Very easy to carry around inside your purse, and if you feel like you need to top up your highlight, you just can apply it directly from the stick or with your finger and then just dab it on to intensify the glow on your face. Next, we'll move on to powder highlights. I have a few. I'll start with the ones that are more subtle and doesn't have that metallic stroke. So first of all is the Canmake Tokyo highlighter, and this one is in the shade L01, and this is borderline light for me. I can't go anywhere lighter than this. Still have that champagne undertone, and you can see it reflects back like really beautifully. It does have that tiny micro glitters scattered throughout the formulation, but on the face it looks very glossy and natural and doesn't look too bambing on your face. I also love the brush that it comes with because it feels really soft. I feel like this formula is really suitable for those who just want to dip their toes into the highlight world because it's not too intense, and if you are heavy-handed like me, this is really a good highlight to start off with. This highlight will not intensify a bunch of texture that you have on your cheekbone. Like me, I am a very good example of that. I have a lot of textures on my cheek area. And the next one is this one. This is from Physicians Formula Muru Butter Blush. On me, it is not a blush. I use this as my highlight. I did use this for my solemnisation makeup creation. I will link it up here if you want to watch it. So this one is very soft. It does have a subtle shift to it, a pink, a rose gold, and champagne shift. On the cheeks, looks very natural and it looks angelic, and also gives me like a nice veil of highlight. It doesn't look too intense, but sometimes I prefer that type of highlight if I want to achieve a very natural and I don't want people to focus on the high points of my cheeks. I just want a veil of highlight that is very subtle. I will go for this one. Moving on to the next one. This is fairly new to me. I only tried it once or twice. This is Catrice Clean ID Mineral Swirl Highlighter, and this is in the shade Gold 020. So this is what it looks like. It's a baked formula, and this one feels very interesting. Once you swatch it on the product itself, if it feels very stiff and hard, and it doesn't feel smooth at all. The formula kind of gives you an impression where the product is not good, but it actually is. I love all Catrice product. It's really nice once you blend it on the skin. You can see the beautiful metallic champagne gold shift, and it gives you a nice stroke on the skin. It doesn't look too intense or too overdone. What you swatch on the hand is what you'll get on the cheeks. I just really love the undertone of this. And then moving on to the next highlight, this is Shimmer Strips from Physicians Formula. I have two shades, I don't know why. I just love any Physicians Formula product, to be honest. And this is in the shade Rivera Strip, and this one is in the shade Malibu Strip. You can see that there's not many difference, except for I think this one is a bit more deeper than this one. But what I will do is I just swirl my brush in here and avoiding the darkest shade usually. So this is what the shade looks like. As you can see, it's very metallic and bam on your face kind of reflection. It reflects backlight really beautifully. If you're looking for a blinding highlight but still can manipulate and also be very flexible with it, you should try this one because you'll get 5 shades in here. You have flexibility with this palette. You can choose just bright colors to highlight the inner corner, or if you want to use a bronzer topper or something like that, you can go for the dark shade. You can play around with it, and also you will not be disappointed with the reflection that you'll get. Even though it is very metallic, but it doesn't emphasize the texture and looks skin light, and it blends and melts onto the skin pretty well, but it will give you the metallic stroke that you're looking for in a blinding highlighter. This is also from Physicians Formula. I have 2 shades. This is in the shade Natural Nude, and this is in the shade Warm Nude. Again, it doesn't have that much of a difference, except for this one has a touch of pink color in there, but if you swirl it around, you will most probably get the same color. And this is what I have on my cheeks. Again, with this type of design, you'll get more flexibility, can be more creative with it. The downside is just the packaging. Mine is already like broken and detached from the cardboard, and also it's bulky. That is common to Physicians Formula, but just focus on the formula. This one looks dewy and wet looking. It doesn't emphasize the texture, and you'll get that wet look, but not to the point that it looks too much. This highlight looks expensive and it builds incredibly well. If you have a deeper skin tone, you can go for this highlight over here. Overall, I really adore their formula in this shimmer bricks. The next highlight is this one, Catrice High Glow Mineral Highlighting Powder. It is a baked formula. I talked about this in my Hourglass ambient lighting palette dupe. I will link it up here if you want to watch it. So this one is a more metallic glisten kinda. It does have that tiny micro glitters scattered throughout the formula, and on the cheeks it doesn't really emphasize the texture, and also the metallic or the micro glitters doesn't disturb the texture on your skin. And when the light hits it, it's very pretty. It looks like you look like starry night. This one gives you just enough metallic stroke that you'll need without going overboard, but it is really simple and straightforward packaging. The formula and the finish is what makes it really unique, in my opinion. Next, we're gonna move on to the more beaming and blinding highlight. This is Wet n Wild Hello Halo Blush Lighter. I don't want to say the shade name because it's very inappropriate. I will leave everything in the description box below if you are interested. So this is what it looks like. It has a metallic blush topper at one side and also a very blinding highlight on the other side. You can also use this as a highlight if you want to. So this is what it looks like. This is the blush topper or the blush lighter, and this is the actual highlighter that I'm going to talk about today. As you can see, it has a very nice metallic champagne undertone. This highlighter is very high shine, very beaming, very metallic, but it doesn't have any micro glitters scattered throughout it. No glitters at all actually. This highlighter feels very smooth once I swatch it, and once on the skin it feels very nice and smooth as well. What does produce so many metallic and blinding highlighters that are similar to the high-end one, so please do check them out. And also the price is very affordable as it gives you effect of juicy skin or wet skin. And also from Wet n Wild, this is the Mega Glow highlighter. I don't have the single pen, I have it in a palette, and it is in shade Golden Flower Crown. This highlighter is so highly talked about last 2 years. It has the same effect from the previous highlighter that I swatched, which is the Hello Halo Blush Lighter, but this one feels a little bit less smooth, but nonetheless it gives you the same effect on the skin, blinding metallic stroke without emphasizing any texture on the high points of your cheeks. But bear in mind, any highlighter will emphasize slightly your skin texture, but make sure you don't wear highlighter that has a lot of glitters. These highlighters reflects back light really beautifully. It gives you a nice spotlight on your cheekbone, and also it is very affordable. The next one is from Revlon Skin Lights, and I have in the shade 201 Daybreak Glimmer. Downside about this is that your product will detach from the component, because I saw a few YouTubers also experience the same thing, so be mindful of that. This color is also borderline light on my skin tone. It still has that light gold undertone in it, so I still can wear it, but as you can see, the formula is really metallic. It just reflects light very beautifully. You can see that it has micro glitters in it. Honestly, this formula will emphasize my texture a bit, but I really look past that because I really love the effect that it gives. The reflection metallicness of this highlight really makes me want to wear it again. And this next highlighter is also an OG highlighter, which is from Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter, and it is in the shade Molten Gold. This one is similar to the Becca Champagne Pop, which has a strong peach undertone, but this one has a strong gold undertone, and it's really beautiful. It is really not an everyday highlight because of the intensity. If you wear it, people will see you from afar. If you have a tanner skin tone than me, this will also look flattering on you. It is a universally flattering highlight. This formula feels buttery when you swatch it on the hands, and also it is really easy to apply it on the skin as well. And just one swipe, you will get that beaming highlight. The next one is this is from Catrice 3D Glow Highlighter in the shade Warm Embrace. I have a full dedicated video for this highlighter. I have all 3 shades with me. I will link it up here if you want to see my review, the swatches. And also this one is similar to the Master Chrome highlight. This is what they look like side by side, and the shades and the undertone are very similar and almost identical. Also, it feels the same. This is the Maybelline Master Chrome in the shade Molten Gold, and this is the Catrice 3D Glow Highlight in the shade Warm Embrace. This one definitely look warmer than this, and the rose gold or the peach undertone from this one is more intense than the Maybelline Rose Gold. This will also look flattering on those who have a deeper skin tone than me. The formula of this is a bit powdery, but because it is a very affordable and cheap highlighter, you can't really complain on that part. You just need to blend it out on the skin, and it will eventually melt onto the skin. Yeah, once I blend it out, the formula feels the same. They look the same. This is again the high reflection, high shine, but doesn't have any glitter or chunky glitter scattered throughout the formula, which is nice, which means that it won't emphasize any large textures that you have on the skin. The thing about all of this powder highlight, you really can manipulate them. If they look too texture emphasizing, you just need to have a setting spray and just spray it onto the areas where you feel like it looked too powdery, so that the setting spray will melt the powder onto the skin and it will blend with the foundation and also the base you have on, so that all of this highlighter will look skin light. Finally, this is the last highlighter I have here, Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter in the shade Champagne. This is definitely a unique formula a putty-like formula. It feels wet when you swatch it, and for me this works well with your finger instead of a brush. So this is what shade Champagne looks on my skin. This one definitely has the wet dewy finish on the skin. It immediately melts onto the skin. I prefer to use this with my finger instead of a brush. You can use it with a brush, but you need a bit of work for the formula to melt onto the skin. It will eventually dry down but still give you that wet looking effect. And some people find this formula a bit finicky. Once you know how, you will always go back to this highlighter. Also, it has a very nice coconut scent if you're into coconut scents. So that's it for today's video. I hope this video will be helpful for you. If you have a similar skin tone to me, maybe you want to check out any of the highlighters that I have mentioned today. Also, if you have your favorite highlighter, let me know what is it in the description bar, in the comment section below, so I can check it out in my local drugstore. And thank you so much for watching. If you are new to my channel, I would appreciate if you subscribe. I do a lot of makeup tutorial, makeup review and makeup hauls. So I hope I see you guys in my next video. Take care. Bye. Assalamualaikum.